Was Peacemaker Season 2 and its divisive finale DC Studios and the DCU's first misstep? Oh, that's quite a big question that everybody's got on their mind at the moment. I mean, when you look on social media and the comments surrounding the finale of Peacemaker Season 2, it was really divisive. I mean, half of the fan base absolutely hated it, found it underwhelming, found it ridiculously weird. They injected those 2 musical numbers into the finale, which was weird. It was kind of like half a show and then half a music video, which was really kind of strange to a lot of people. At the end, we have the whole checkmate being established, which was rushed. There was no dialogue. It wasn't really explained. For a lot of people who aren't comic book fans, they wouldn't even know what checkmate is. Then we had Salvation as well, where Peacemaker was left on Salvation by Rick Flag Sr., where he turns evil. Again, a lot of people confused. A lot of people out there who aren't comic book fans don't know what Salvation is. So, I mean, it was explained in the show that it's kind of like a prison world for metahumans, but that's as far as it goes. But yeah, and then Rick Flag Sr.'s kind of evil turn. I mean, there's so much in this finale that was underwhelming, that didn't make sense, was kind of all over the place, and it didn't work for a lot of people. But anyway, I've highlighted what I think is the most important parts of this article here, talking about the divisive nature of Season 2 of Peacemaker and the finale. So instead of us having to read the entire thing, we'll just read the highlighted portions that I checked out earlier. Okay, so Peacemaker Season 2 was still something of a mixed bag, as well as arguably being an overall underwhelming follow-up to that stellar first season. Yeah, my personal thoughts and opinions is that Season 2 of Peacemaker was a step down from the first season. I think the first season was much better handled in terms of character arcs, in terms of the action, the way that this show from episode to episode flowed. The finale for the first season was much better as well, and I just think Season 2 ultimately was a step down. I mean, there were some highlights in Season 2. It's not an absolute train wreck. It's not hot, steaming garbage. I would recommend it to someone, but I wouldn't recommend the finale. I would say watch it up until episode 7 and then don't bother watching the finale. As weird as that sounds. So anyway, let's keep going down here. So follow-up to the first season, it highlighted some of Gunn's flaws and pointed to the filmmaker being stretched a tad too thin. I mean, we've seen this with Kevin Feige, haven't we? When they have too many projects on the go at Marvel and Kevin Feige gets stretched too thin, then ultimately the quality begins to decline because he can't properly oversee everything that's going on. And the same thing with James Gunn could be happening here. I mean, he's working on Lanterns, Supergirl, Clayface. There's so many projects that are in the works, and maybe James Gunn is stretching himself too thin and he can't properly oversee what's going on with all these different projects here. Okay. So, moving on to this. What did the series really achieve? I mean, that's a big question as well. So Gunn successfully got fans to care about the character by unraveling his dark past and establishing him as someone who at least wants to do the right thing. I mean, this is what Chris Smith's arc was all about. He wants to be seen as someone who's a hero. He wants to be seen in the eyes of the public that he's a hero, that he does the right thing. That's the way he wants to be remembered, but he just kind of messes everything up. He's basically a fuck up, but he wants to be seen as a hero. And ultimately, that story didn't really pay off at the end. Season 2, on the other hand, focused primarily on Chris's budding romance with Amelia Harcourt. I couldn't give 2 rats' urines about his relationship with Amelia Harcourt. I don't care 1 iota for that relationship. I honestly don't. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't see the on-screen chemistry between the 2 actors. I don't care. Like, I don't care if he's with Amelia or not. It makes no difference to me. And if Amelia and Chris Smith didn't have this romance in Season 2, it wouldn't have degraded the show whatsoever for me. I wouldn't have cared. It made no difference to me. What happened on the boat? A kiss informed Chris's entire story arc. Again, too much was based around this kind of crappy romance between these 2 characters that I didn't care about, and I don't think a lot of people that I've spoken to cared about it either. So it had to be shown as the saddest man at the orgy as well to establish how he was feeling. Again, something else that was injected into this season, that kind of orgy that he has at his house. It was ridiculous, it was out of place, it was there for shock value, it was stupid, there was no reason for that to be in the show, and it just felt so jarring and out of place, and I don't know why it needed to be there. I thought it was stupid in my opinion. But that's kind of James Gunn's kind of outside of the box kind of humor, I guess. The show only succeeded in making a group of relatively unimportant characters an important part of the filmmaker's vision for the franchise, for better or worse. Yeah, it tried to establish these different characters, you know, Economos and Harcourt and add a bio as, you know, these characters that are going to be popping up again, probably in future Superman movies or a Supergirl movie, wherever they appear next. But that's basically what the purpose of this season 2 was, to establish these kind of low-level characters so that we know who they are when they pop up next in whatever major project they're going to be in down the line, because I'm sure they're going to be sharing a lot of screen time with these other projects. But do people really care all that much about these characters? I mean, I guess they're okay. Would I care if I never saw them again? Not really. I wouldn't. I'm more concerned with Supergirl, with Harley Quinn, with Wonder Woman, with Batman, the main characters of the DCU, these kind of low-level characters that surround Peacemaker. If I don't see them again, does anybody actually care? Would anyone actually forget? Would anyone actually remember they existed? I'm not sure they would. Okay, over-promises and under-delivering. Yeah, this is what James Gunn did. He opened his mouth, he bigged up the finale too much, he made it seem a lot more important and bigger than it actually was, and it left a lot of people disappointed. In many ways, it's refreshing to have a writer and director and studio executive to be so open to fans on social media. Yeah, the one thing I will say about James Gunn is he replies to a lot of rumors and stuff on social media. If a rumor comes out that's big enough, he will shut it down, he will engage with audience questions, and, you know, that's the good side of him, that he does engage with the audience, which is what we need more of when it comes to movies. Gunn takes the time to share insights into his work, correct mistakes and false rumors. And why he's now arguing that Checkmate and Salvation were big reveals. Yeah, so he was saying that there's going to be big cameos and big reveals in the finale, and it turns out those big reveals were Checkmate. Again, unless you're a comic book reader, you probably wouldn't even know what Checkmate is. I had to Google it. I have no idea what it is. I've read a few comics from DC in the past, but I'm not a big comic book nerd. I don't know everything about everything, and I didn't know what Checkmate was. I had to be honest. Salvation as well, never heard of it myself. So if you're not a comic book fan, you may be lost on these concepts, but I guess they did explain Salvation to a point. It's a prison planet for metahumans where they're going to be, basically they're going to be shipped off to this prison planet and they can't escape, and it gets rid of the metahumans on Earth, and that's basically what it is. So, over several weeks, the filmmaker inadvertently set expectations way too high for the final few episodes of Peacemaker Season 2. Absolutely did. FX was predicted by fans weeks before that episode aired, and Gunn set himself up to fail. Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to be a gigantic kind of reveal. Oh my god, we're on a Nazi kind of, a Nazi version of Planet Earth. But it's like, fans knew this and predicted it like 3 weeks before it even happened. So by the time we got to the episode where it was revealed that we were on Planet X, like, we already all knew. We already worked it out. It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a reveal. It had no shock factor. It just didn't work the way that he intended it to, because we already figured it out. So, it kind of just fell flat, really. He never lied, but made the mistake of over-promising and under-delivering. Lex Luthor's appearance was a big deal. Yeah, I mean, was it really? I mean, I saw Lex Luthor appear and I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I love the guy who plays Lex Luthor. He's a talented actor and it was cool to see him. But I wasn't like, oh my god, it's Lex Luthor, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, no. I've just seen him in Superman. I know he exists in this world. And I know that characters are going to be crossing over. So to see Lex Luthor from Superman appear in this connected DC project, it's kind of like, it's not mind-blowing. It's not a character that we've never seen before. We know he exists. We know he's connected to the material. So it wasn't really mind-blowing. It was cool, but there wasn't really anything shocking about it. It wasn't like Blade showing up in Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, that was shocking on a whole nother level for so many reasons. But this was nothing like that. Okay. He never lied, blah, blah, blah. Lex Luthor's appearance was a big deal, but was it really big? No, not really. And hailing Peacemaker as a prequel to the Superman sequel. Yeah, no, not really. This is in no way a prequel to the Superman of Tomorrow, the Man of Tomorrow movie with Lex Luthor and Superman teaming up. This has literally nothing to do with that whatsoever. This is like an isolated story. I mean, the Salvation storyline may play into what's going on forward with the DCU, but other than that, it's like the smallest little bits of connective tissue that have basically nothing to do with what's going next, apart from maybe Salvation and Checkmate. And obviously we're going to see Rick Flag Sr. continue on in his evil character arc, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But it's not a prequel by any means. James Gunn overindulged. So, the show tried perhaps a little too hard to turn the talented Jennifer Holland into an action star. Then there was not one, but two extended musical performances from Gunn's favourite band in a largely uneventful finale. Yeah, this is what made it so even more jarring and bizarre for people who are watching this. Not only was it an underwhelming finale, the fact that half of the episode was like 2 musical videos back to back, and it's like, did we really need 2? We didn't even need 1, but having 2, it's like, what? Like, no one wanted to sit there and watch half of Peacemaker and have it be a musical video. Nobody wanted that. Like, why did he think that that would be a good idea? I don't understand. Then there was extended musical performances from his favorite band. We already read that. Why explore the intricacies of Earth-X or flesh out borderline caricatures like Vigilante and Judo Master? Vigilante is where it's at. I think that's what people are most interested in. That I could see a standalone Vigilante series. The guy is funny. He's basically DC's version of Deadpool. That's what he is. And people would love to see a movie or a TV show based on Vigilante. He's got everything going for him that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool has. He's funny, he's violent, he's ridiculous, he's unhinged. You know, one minute he's joking and laughing, the next minute he's like cutting fools up and stabbing and slicing and shooting. Like, you know what I mean? He flips on a dime, kind of like what Deadpool does. And he basically is Deadpool, but in the DC universe. And I think people want to see more of that. And I feel that they don't use him as much as they should. And when you look at Michael Rooker, a walk through the forest with a comically large gun, Looney Tunes style, but hey, Eagly is now the Prime Eagle, whatever that means. Yeah, again, a crazy storyline about Eagly being the Prime Eagle. What does that even mean? How is that going to factor in going forward? You know, Prime Eagle. Is that something in the comics that I'm not familiar with? I honestly don't know. Checkmate and Salvation. While the interdimensional metahuman prison and the formation of Checkmate are noteworthy developments for the wider DCU. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's probably going to be the major focus going forward. Checkmate and obviously Salvation. Those 2 major plot points are probably going to follow forward. So, Rick Flag Sr.'s descent into villainy didn't feel earned after Creature Commandos. Again, the fact that he turned really evil at the end and kidnapped John Cena and took him to Salvation, that was kind of lost on a lot of people. As for Checkmate, let's be honest, it's exclusive to get the 11th Street kids into more DCU movies and TV shows. Yeah, now that they've set up their own kind of, I guess, company where they're going to be operating out of, I mean, it's just an excuse to kind of have these guys together, working as a team so that they can show up in other DC properties. I guess that's why it was established, but it was so rushed, it wasn't explained, and it just didn't feel like it was earned, really. But it's an excuse just to have them kind of show up in those other DC projects going forward. We're intrigued to see what Salvation means for the DCU, especially if it's leading gun-pulling ideas from the New Frontier. Salvation could quite easily be revealed as Dinosaur Island, and a precursor to the Center's introduction. Was Peacemaker Season 2 a failure? I don't think it was a failure, but it's kind of teetering on that edge where you're about to lose the audience. And if the finale was good, this would be an incredible success. But when you leave people on a somber note, the very last episode, the finale, is what people most remember. So going away with a underwhelming finale kind of taints the whole show, even though a lot of the show was actually not too bad. A poor choice of words left fans expecting cameos from Man of Steel, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle in the finale. Instead, they got a handful of minor Superman characters. Many of you will still feel misled, and that's understandable. Now 2026 will be a huge test for the DCU as Gunn takes a step back to focus on Man of Tomorrow with Supergirl, Lanterns and Clayface all released. Yeah, I mean 2026 is going to be a huge year. I mean, Clayface is something that I'm most looking forward to, a body horror set in the DC universe with Clayface. I think that's going to be incredible. But yeah, Lanterns is going to be good. I hope Supergirl is going to be good as well. But man, 2026 is going to be a real eye-opener to see if they can continue success or whether it's going to fall flat, kind of like this season finale of Peacemaker. But guys, that's just some of the major points there. I mean, did you watch Peacemaker Season 2? Did you enjoy the show as a whole? And what did you think of the actual finale of the show? Did you enjoy the show but hate the finale? Kind of like me. I hated the finale, but I enjoyed the show. So, you know, I don't know what to make of it. If I had to rate this show, I'd probably give it... I don't know. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 maybe, because I enjoyed the show, but the finale was really, really bad and underwhelming. And the fact that the finale was underwhelming could put a lot of people off watching future DC projects because they feel there's nothing to go forward to into the DCU. They don't care about the finale, so why should they care about the DCU going forward? I mean, it could have a bad effect, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'd probably give it a 6.5, 7 out of 10 if I had to rate it. But guys, I would love to know what you think. So like I say, if you saw this series, if you saw the finale, jump into the comment section, give me your rating, and let me know what you thought about this kind of underwhelming finale. Or maybe it wasn't underwhelming to you. Maybe you really, really enjoyed it. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Thanks so much for being here and kind of discussing Peacemaker Season 2 with me, guys. It's great to have you guys here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so far. It goes a long way to supporting the content and everything I do here, so I'd really appreciate that. But most importantly, hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos coming to the channel in the next few days or weeks, guys. You don't want to miss out on any of the exciting content that I have planned. And with all that down, I will see you in the next video.